Hi everyone. Here is the second of the 7 habits of highly effective people. It's called beginning with the end in mind, which basically means that you look to see what you wish to accomplish, look to see where you are now, and figure out what steps will lead you in the right direction. So he's making sure that every step you take is heading in the right direction. So the previous habit, being proactive, it's important because this habit allows us to expand our proactivity and exercise leadership. Well, where the first habit of being proactive is the whole moral is basically like you're the creator of your own life. This habit is more, is basically writing the whole script. And from the 4 unique human endowments from that video to this habit, the essential endowments are imagination and conscience. Our imagination allows us to visualize the potential ahead, and our conscience allows us to come into contact with natural laws and principles and combine them with our talents, contributions, and guidelines. And so this habit is very similar to the next one. They're very interrelated. This one focuses more on leadership and not management. That's the next habit, which will be the next video. So leadership basically deals with what you want to accomplish and making sure everything leans in the right direction. Management has more to do with how to accomplish it and what's the most efficient way to do something. A lot of people focus too much on the managing and not the leadership. For example, if you take the building of a house, there's a physical creation and a mental creation. Well, this habit's the mental creation. The execution's the physical creation. Before you build a house, you draw out the maps and you design it and all that. That's the mental creation, which is this habit here. You never do the physical creation before the mental creation. You'd run into more problems if you did the physical creation before the mental creation. The physical creation is basically the building of the house, and the mental creation is basically the designing. You don't build before you design. If you don't, without leadership, you could be doing all the wrong things. So this is a very right-brained habit. And the managing's more left-brained. Talk about the differences between the left and right side of the brain. There's 2 different parts. Both sides are responsible for one. The left side is responsible for one thing, and the right side is responsible for another. One side of the brain is responsible for certain activities, and the other side of the brain is responsible for other ones. For the left brain is basically the left side of the brain deals with the more logical, verbal stuff, and the right side of the brain is more the more intuitive, creative one. The left side deals with words. The right side deals with pictures. The left side deals with parts and specifics. The right side deals with holes in the relationship between the parts. The left side of the brain is analyzing. The right side is synthesizing. Analyzing meaning to break things apart. Synthesizing meaning put things together. The left side deals with sequential thinking. The right side deals with simultaneous and holistic thinking. The left side is time-bound. The right side is time-free. And basically the challenge of this habit is tapping into the right side of the brain. Some ways that they mention are, one of the ways that they talk about is affirmations. Here's an example. It is deeply satisfying that I respond with wisdom, love, firmness, and self-control when my children misbehave. So basically the 5 ingredients of an affirmation are: it's personal, it's positive, it's present tense, it's visual, and it's emotional. Another big activity for this habit is using mission statements. You can write mission statements for, they can be personal, they can be family, and they can be organizational. We'll start off with the personal. Basically, a personal mission statement includes what you want to be or do, includes the values upon which doing and being are based, and they're based on correct principles. It's the basis of decision-making. It's the expression of constitution, vision, and values. Forces you to think deeply and carefully about priorities and align behavior with beliefs. So you could just a very easy way of doing this, break it into roles, set a goal for each one, set a goal for each role. It'll give you more balance and harmony. Think about what you're about and what values should guide you. And then look at long-term goals once they're identified. See, if your life is based on your mission statement, it'll be different from ones that normal people set, and it'll be in harmony with correct principles, with natural laws giving you greater power to achieve them. And now for family mission statements. The point I'll make is that they're often managed on crisis, moods, and quick fixes. Not a good thing. Not what we want. We often overreact. We often become cynical. And, when that happens, this is how people learn to do those things, to behave that sort of way, which is not what we want. So, in a family mission statement, it comes from all members of the family. It's revised and has feedback from every member on what matters most. It's basically a reminder about things that matter most, and it provides direction for problem solving and decision making based on correct principles. An organizational mission statement is kind of similar to a family statement, in that all members have the input, and it's based on correct principles, and it works. And in this case, it takes time and patience, it takes a lot of involvement, a lot of empathy, and a lot of skill. So basically the key thing to changing is to know who you are, what you're about, and what you value. Basically, whatever is at the center of your circle of influence is the source of your security, guidance, wisdom, power. And these are all interdependent factors, and they work together. So here's some alternative centers as opposed to... So we have principal centers, and here's some alternative centers here, in which a lot of other people base their life on. And that is basically their source of security, wisdom, power, and guidance. So basically, security represents your sense of worth, your identity, your emotional anchorage, your self-esteem, and personal strength. Guidance represents your source of direction, the standards, principles, and implicit criteria that governs decision-making. Wisdom is basically integrated wholeness, this perspective in life, the sense of balance and understanding of how parts and principles apply and relate to each other. It embraces judgment, discernment, and comprehension. Power is basically the power to act, the vital energy to make decisions. It includes capacity to overcome deeply embedded habits and cultivate higher and more effective ones. So basically, with the principle center, security comes from principles, wisdom and guidance come from correct maps, the way things are, have been, and will be. Correct maps help you see where we want to go and how to get there. And the power comes from being self-aware, knowledgeable, and a proactive person, unrestricted by external forces. Principle centers pull all the other centers in perspective, and when making tough choices, you need to look at all the parts of life and make choices accordingly. So here's the description. If you're, say, spouse-centered, family-centered, or whatever, here's the description of your security, guidance, wisdom, power, and blah blah blah. Right here. And here's the description of being principle-centered. And here are the possible perceptions flowing out at various centers. So if you're centered on one thing, if these figures basically show you how you see another area of your life. So let's take a story here that they mention in the book, and that is, you want to go to a rock concert with your spouse and a few friends, and your boss calls you at 4 o'clock to tell you that he wants you to help him in the evening for a meeting the next morning at 9 in the morning. What we're basically going to do is look at how various centers, how they would make their decision. If you're spouse-centered or family-centered, you'd be mainly concerned about your spouse. You tell your boss that you can't stay and take her to the concert in an effort to please her, and despite feeling that you have to protect your job and blah 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 blah. If you're money-centered, you'd be more concerned about getting more hours in for work so you can make more money. And you tell your wife that you can't do this, blah 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 blah. If you're work-centered, you might be looking at the meeting as your boss calling as an opportunity to help them to get something together for the next morning. If you're looking through a possession-centered lens, you might think of what overtime can do, the good of overtime, and you might consider what an asset to your reputation. And at the office, it would be, if you stay, pleasure-centered people would probably choose the concert, even if you had a spouse that was happy for you to work late, because what they're thinking is, they deserve a night out, and blah 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 blah. So if you're friend-centered, your decision would be, you base your decision on whether you've invited friends to attend the concert with you, or whether your friends would work and stay late and blah 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 blah. Enemy-centered people would probably stay late because it would give you a big edge over the other person, and if, giving you the more bragging rights, say that you're a bigger asset to the company, while the other person's off having fun. You'll be working and slaving, doing their sacrificing pleasure for the good of the company. If you're church-centered, you might be influenced by members of the church, whether or not church members work at your office, or and so on and so forth. And if you're self-centered, you think about what you would rather do. You wouldn't think about anyone else. Would it be better to go out for the evening, or make a few points with your boss? And you're basically looking at how it affects you. Anyway, that's all for habit 2. I'll put the habit 2 challenges in the description box below. Anyway, see ya!